it broke me down even further that I don't have the resources to help him out. It's like sitting and watching somebody drown and telling them, just hold on, and I'm gonna help you, I'm gonna get you out of here. And you know, if you're a person just sitting and watching somebody drown, is like, you know, it's hard to do. And I think I kind of realized something by just saying that, like, I don't want him to drown. I don't want him to drown at all. I want to help him. I have to go get help though. Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. Like I said yesterday, today I was probably going to be making a video about basically like the hard news I got yesterday. I guess it's just more of a backstory to my life. Basically what happened yesterday is I got a call from my mom, and you know, I don't really mention my parents a lot on this channel, and the reason being is because, you know, we don't really have that great of a relationship, and you know, it's more of a, I would say, one-sided thing on my side. Not really in the idea of, you know, me wanting it to be that way, but it's just more so I'm aware of a lot more things than my parents are at my age, and it kind of causes that one-sidedness in a way. So going into the story a little bit more, you know, I got a call from my mom about my dad, which they not together anymore. They got divorced when I was 18, so I'm now 27. But yeah, she called me and told me that he was found by my aunt, like in a hotel room, or just, you know, somewhere, digging in his ear. He called her and told her that he had a worm in his ear and stuff like that, so she went to check on him. Now, backstory on that: my dad is homeless, and you know, he has a drug addiction problem, and it's been getting worse as of you know, sorry, I'm outside with all these bugs, but it's been getting worse as of my parents' divorce, and, you know, the passing of his mom. And, you know, he kind of doesn't really have anybody out here. His brother is like, you know, typical black American dad story. I wouldn't even say typical black American dad story, because I feel like my dad's black American story is a lot more in depth than a lot of typical black American dad stories. And yeah, you know, like I said, he doesn't really have many family members that are able to help, opposed to him not having many family members. You know, my uncle's in jail. Another one of my uncles doesn't really talk to him. Most of his siblings don't really talk with him or deal with him. You know, he has an addiction problem, and a lot of them aren't capable themselves of handling that, or handling you know, even their general lives themselves. Not saying that they can't handle their lives, as in they can't work a job and everything like that, but, you know, this the instability, you know, poverty, stuff like that. So I'm sorry I'm rambling, but I'm just trying to give you guys a good backstory. You know, my dad's been struggling with his addiction for, I would say, just from hearing stories that my mom has told me and stuff like that, and trying to piece stuff together, I would say he's been struggling with it his whole life and hasn't had the proper help or guidance. Like, and as far as whole life, I mean like from age 18 plus, like, you know, adulthood plus. But yeah, I just would say he didn't have the proper guidance, proper help, you know, didn't know where to turn to. You know, he found out a lot of things in his early adulthood that kind of, you know, would be a little bit more of traumatic experiences to him, and probably affect him a lot more now, that a lot of people don't realize. But you know, we got the call from my mom. She said my aunt found him in the hotel, or went to see him in the hotel. He was bleeding out of his ear because he was digging in his ear, saying that there was a worm in his ear. And then he told her that you know, he saw his kids, and my aunt didn't really think of anything of it until he started saying, like, God came down, or like God came down and told him he was Superman or something like that. So then she started, like, you know, realizing, okay, something's wrong mentally, or, you know, you're either really on drugs bad or like something like that. So she took him to the hospital, and you know, she tried to get him Baker acted or whatever. I don't really know too much about the process. Like, I'm young, I don't really get to look into those things until like they pop up, like right now. Like, I have never dealt with something like this before. Like, that's one thing I try to explain to my parents, or my mom, at least the one parent I kind of somewhat talk to, even though we don't have the best relationship. Like, it's because I don't think she understands fully that I don't understand things, and I'm you know, I'm not a child, I'm an adult now, but you know, I wasn't prepared for the world, like, by my parents. So yeah, like, they told me that they wanted to get him Baker acted, and I'm like, you know, I just felt bad that nobody reached out to me, or, you know, I felt bad that I'm not in the loop, or the know-how, or the know of anything. Like, my siblings don't care. They don't want to talk to my dad because of, you know, the childhood we had, and like him leaving and stuff like that. But me becoming a father made me a lot more empathetic to open to seeing what my dad was going through, and just me being homeless out here myself due to completely different circumstances. And like, you know, it's just a bunch of stuff, bro. Like, it kind of broke me down yesterday. I just wanted to make a video about it, saying, seeing if there's anybody that has a parent struggling with an addiction, or how they deal with their parent being homeless. You know, a lot of people, I feel like, don't share these stories, so there's not really any real insight or help or relatability that can be used to help. You know what I'm saying? If you guys have ever heard of him, one thing I really appreciate Pretty Boy Fredo for is sharing his story with his parents, because a lot of us are kids that, you know, never got given away for that adoption, or like we're like in some kind of a gray area with parents, or in situations like that. And you know, we have to be out here every day. So it's just a crazy situation. And you know, I guess some more backstory for my dad, or what happened with my dad in the situation. You know, my aunt took him to the hospital. He wanted to leave, he wanted to go, and he didn't want to sign the papers to get Baker acted, or so that my aunt could help him out. And ultimately he just wanted to be dropped back off where he was, under the bridge, or under a bridge, or on the street, or like, you know, he hangs out with this group of people that are like also homeless and stuff like that, and he calls them his friends, and they all do drugs together. And you know, I don't really know, it's like homeless culture stuff. So he said he'd rather be dropped off there. He asked my aunt for some money for some food or whatever, or just some money in general. He said he just wanted some money, and my aunt, you know, she wanted to give him food, so she gave him a card for McDonald's or whatever, and I guess it had money on it, so he could go strictly to McDonald's. But he said he literally said to her that he was probably gonna trade it for his drugs, and just stuff like that. You know, it kind of breaks me down hearing that type of stuff about my dad, specifically knowing, like, you know, it makes me feel bad for not being there in a way, but at the same time, it's like, I'm young and I don't understand a lot of, or I'm coming to understand a lot of these things. But you know, there's a point in time where I wasn't really speaking to my dad that much. Like, I would see him, ask him how he's doing, and it would be like a hi and bye thing. And then, you know, gradually leading up to the birth of my son, you know, I wasn't really speaking to him like that, and it was never a grudge thing. But you know, after my son was born, I started wanting to be more involved with him. And you know, I started involving myself more with him. I was buying hotel rooms. Me and Dora were buying hotel rooms to put him in hotel rooms, and you know, just trying to figure out what would work for him to be comfortable. Like, I didn't understand at that time that a job couldn't really help somebody, or like, you know, that those type of things didn't really motivate people that much. And you know, after at that point, you know, I just started learning more and more, and I was learning more about my son and my family and stuff like that. And you know, I ended up not speaking to my family at all, either anybody, for like a year. And you know, I feel like that year that I took off, I learned so much about being just a person, that, you know, it gave me a lot more insight and empathy for his story. I already had a little bit of empathy for it versus my other family members, but I gained even more getting that time away from my family and taking that time away to see, you know, how real people operate. Before we became homeless, when we found out we were pregnant with our daughter, I messaged him. So this was like I would say about 7 months ago. I sent him a message. I sent him our first sonogram picture. I sent him updated pictures of our son, just to, like, you know, reach out to him and see how he's doing. I never got a response, and you know, we don't get on Facebook like that, so I checked this. I always log in and check to see if he's responded. He hasn't responded at all, and so, you know, I don't know what's going on with him other than that. Like, that's the last thing I've heard about my dad, and it just really broke me down that he doesn't really have anybody, and it broke me down even further that I don't have the resources to help him out. It's like sitting and watching somebody drown and telling them, just hold on, and I'm gonna help you, I'm gonna get you out of here. And you know, if you're a person, just sitting and watching somebody drown is like, you know, it's hard to do. And I think I kind of realized something by just saying that, like, I don't want him to drown. I don't want him to drown at all. I want to help him. I have to go get help, though. Meaning I have to go get the tools and the resources to help him out, and come back. And it sounds crazy to say, but I kind of hope he's still drowning in a way when I come back, so that I can come back with the resources and save him, because I know it's possible. You know, I feel like everybody's kind of call him crazy and say he needs to get help and Baker acted. I feel like he's on the thin line between being like really mentally messed up from the drugs and, you know, just needing some help. And I feel like I can do that. It's just my position right now is not a good one. So it breaks me down every day to think about stuff like that. And that's just, you know, that's a small glimpse of what I've dealt with through my childhood. It's a small glimpse of what I've dealt with as an adult, just being born to who I'm born to, or just being around my family on one side, or, you know, both sides, like that kind of just are oblivious to each other. And it's a crazy experience that my life has been. And I just wanted to share it with you guys. You know, if there's anybody out there that knows how or has resources, you know, other than just saying, yeah, here, he called his number, they'll help you out. Like, it's a lot more intricate than that, because trust me, I've tried. I would say money is like the answer. It sounds crazy. A lot of people say money isn't the answer to things, but for my situation, that can help out a lot. So, you know, I've been putting in work. As you guys can see, I've been working almost every day, and you know, I'm working towards getting enough money. I saw a clip from Kevin Hart that basically he was saying some similar things about his father. I'll insert it into the video.
My dad is the prime example. Crazy drug addict, in and out of jail. Life was very bad, very fucking bad for my dad. Son got successful. Son then took money, gave it to his dad. Here's your house, here's your truck, here's your monthly. At this age, I want you to live your life. You done made mistakes. You can't rebuild and correct the things that you've done. I'm your son, I love you. You can't go back and redo. You can't try to keep going backwards. It ain't about me, you got grandkids. Go be the best grandpop you can be for these grandkids.
The clip of Kevin Hart talking about his father's addiction and what happened when he got money. And you know, I really would love to see that from my parents, and not just my parents, Dora's parents. She's got her own separate story with her parents, and it's very hard to hear and listen to and stuff like that. But I don't know, guys. I'm not having a pity party on my channel. This is real life. Like, when things go good in my life, you guys will see it. When things go bad in my life, you guys will see it. But this is where I'm at right now. So I appreciate everybody for listening. Have a great day. If you're in my situation, don't worry, you're gonna get out of it. Or if you're in a similar situation, don't worry, you're gonna get out of it. If you have a parent that's going through something similar, keep your head up, stay strong. You know, at least with my channel, we're all gonna get through this together. So I guess that's just my story time about my parent that's addicted to drugs. So that's it, guys. I'll talk to you later. I'll be back with how much we make today. So later.